Okay, so now we are on the quizzes homepage. I've cleaned up my quizzes a little bit to make it clean for when we look at everything to kind of start from scratch to show a person who's just now starting out what it would look like. So right here on the homepage, you can see I'm signed in up here. I have my own account. Like I said, they're free. The only problem with free is that eventually, if you save over 20 assessments to yourself, you end up having to pay. But the free assessments are unlimited and you can use them and share them with your class as much as you would like. So the first thing you can do is search any topic and find a number of quizzes. So the first thing we will do is we're going to search Andrew Jackson, and that's who we're going to use that lesson as an example. So the first thing is all I did was type in Andrew Jackson, and you can see all the examples up there of the results. It also is going to be tailored to what kind of students you have. So over here, you have different options. You have quizzes and lessons, and you can do it by different metrics in there as well. So number of questions, you can do 10, 20, 30, 30 plus, all different grade levels. So for myself, let's say I want to find a quiz. I want it to be 11 to 20 questions. I want it to be geared for 11th grade students, and it's filtering everything there. So question types, all right, multiple choice. All right, so, and here are the different options that we have here. So with that, let's say we want to work with this quiz right here. All right, so I can either save it to my library, all right, and I can sit there and do that and save it, or I can hit play. And there's two different ways that I can do it. I can either start it as a live quiz, which I'll go ahead and click that and show everybody. All right, and the different options we can do for it right here: participant attempts, unlimited. I can put it on a board in class, or I can share it on a different number of platforms. They have redemption questions if you do want to make it a gaming mode option. And they have where you can show answers during the activity, show answers after the activity, shuffle the questions, and shuffle the answers, as well as have timers for it. Let's go ahead and go back. Okay, and now let's say, all right, we'll research Andrew Jackson again. Let's say we want to find a lesson this time. So now you have different lessons within it, and you can have the same number of stuff you can put in there for grade levels, question types, whatever you're looking for. All right, so let's say right here I have a lesson right here with Andrew Jackson. And with this, it's mostly going to be different slides. So it's like a PowerPoint presentation with questions that are embedded in it. So there's videos, everything like this that goes along with it to help students see where they go. So it's great for formative assessments, and you're able to do it live or assign it for practice for students. Okay, so there's one way for you to do it. And you can save all of that into your own library. One thing that I love to do is create a quiz from your own content. So let's say I have a PowerPoint or a worksheet or a reading passage I want to make into a quiz for a formative assessment. We're going to create quizzes with AI, all right, which I think is a great resource for us. So I'm going to hit upload from device. All right, and it's going to pull up the different things I have. So let's say right here, Andrew Jackson write-up. Here's a write-up about a summary of Andrew Jackson. So I'm going to hit open. And with it, it has the PDF, and I'm just going to hit generate questions. So I'm going to say I want a question bank. And in a matter of a few seconds, it's going to create a quiz for my students to be able to use. All right, so as you see, in a matter of seconds, it created a quiz for me. So everything that was in that write-up in that passage is now seen right here. So basic questions from it. What is Andrew Jackson known for in American history? What early experience contributed to Jackson's desire for military glory? So very basic questions that were all pulled from a reading excerpt that I could have given my class. So it's great to see if students are reading at home. This could be a ticket out the door. It could be a bell ringer when they walk in. But it's very, very simple to create it, and it does it for you, which I think saves teachers a lot of time. All right. One additional tool to it, all right, is to be able to modify the quiz. So I can add similar questions to it. I can translate it. All right. So if I have ESOL students, I'm able to do that as well. I can create to a real world scenario if you have more interactive questions, and I can add custom prompts to it as well. All right, so there's one way right there that you're able to create a quiz. All right, another way, which I think is great, is to be able to post a YouTube video into it. All right, so right here, here's a Crash Course US History video talking about Andrew Jackson, and all I'm going to do is paste it. And with this, it's going to take what was in the video and it's going to create another quiz based off what was in there. So again, it's great if you're in a flipped learning classroom, you can assign a video for students to watch. They can watch the video at home. They can come in and take a quiz on it. You could be showing it in class and be seeing who is paying attention, show them the video at the end, and it's going to come up with a bunch of questions that's from the video. So it's really just a fast and wonderful way for teachers to be able to create assessments based off of what they're doing. So again, this created 10 questions based off of it, and it's everything about what was in the video. And it's already done. So let's say I wanted to use this quiz. All right, with that, I would just hit publish. All right, give it a name. Crash Course Quiz. Tag it for 11th grade. I can make it public because I want people to be able to use what I've made. And it's going to create my quiz right there. So again, like we talked about before, I'm able to do different things with it. I can start the live quiz. I can assign it practice at home. I can share it with people that I'm working with, and I can still use AI to help enhance it even further. I also can edit the quiz as well. So let's go ahead and hit edit, and we'll show one of the features there. So with that, I'm still typing in Andrew Jackson. Here's quizzes that other people made. Let's say I want to pull some of the quizzes from there. I can look at these questions that I like or don't like. Let's say I like this. Why did he veto the bank bill? And I just hit add question, and now I added it to the assessment. So I'm able to go through all these different assessments and pull from questions that other people have made over the same topic. All right, so those are some of the ways that I think it is very, very beneficial. So creating your own assignments for students, like I said, it can take your PowerPoints, your videos, or concepts that you've created and form formative or summative assessments based off that information. I think it's very, very engaging for students because it's fun, it's creative, it's done with technology. There is the gamification aspect. So for myself, using students for this presentation that are general education students as well as special education students, it's very interactive for them. Students that I teach, some of them are on the autism spectrum, and they find it very engaging, fun, and entertaining. So that's always great to see as well. One thing I do love about quizzes as well is the analysis reports, which I will show in just a second. That's a great benefit for teachers as well. Obviously, with technology, you are going to have some things that'll be difficult. One of the issues is going to be the school Chromebooks. Sometimes they have issues logging in. Sometimes the internet doesn't work for them. And sometimes students don't bring them to school for whatever reason. So you do have to adapt and overcome with that. Maybe sometimes you have to let them use their phone or use the desktop computer in there as well. Moving forward, I plan to continue to use this for formative assessments, review games, as well as remediation aspects. And with that, let's look at the data that you're able to pull from quizzes and then how I ranked quizzes with my tech tool evaluation. So over here, when you get done with quizzes, all right, you download it. There's an option as a report. So here's an example from another teacher in my department. All right, here's all their students. So they made a long assessment with over 50 questions for a review for the test. So over here, it'll show every question that they took. Okay, it shows them how long they used it as well. So if you go to participant data, it's going to show you every student that took it. You can see their names over here, their score for the gamification aspect, the number correct, which ones they missed, how long they took on each question. So you can see if the student is planning or working hard or if they're just guessing. All right, and if you go back to the participant data, you are also able to see what question each kid missed and which ones he was doing well on. All right, so let's look at our tech tool table here to wrap things up. So for the functionality, I thought it was great. For the aspect, I thought it was great for all class sizes. I've used it for some of our bigger classes. We have up to 35 students in a class, and some of the small group co-taught classes we have as low as 20 to 25 students in there. So it's great for the different numbers of class sizes you may use. It's very user-friendly. The kids do a great job of being able to use it. It's good for instructors. Once you log in, it's pretty easy to learn how to do things. I think the biggest thing is just learning all the different features and how it can benefit you. The tech support is phenomenal as well. They have a FAQ page. It's very simple. Also, I had a lot of support within the school building with my coach and also my department chair. But there's also a number of YouTube videos that explain all the nuances of it, which is very beneficial as well. And the hypermediality aspect of it is great as well. There's audio parts of it with the lessons, visual and textual, obviously. It is very adaptive and engaging to students. So for functionality, I gave it an 8 out of 8. For accessibility, that scored very high as well. It addresses the needs of diverse learners. One thing with students who speak English as a second language, they have the translation tool, which is very helpful. They also have the read aloud aspect for students who require that. I can disallow timers for the quiz if I want to use it that way, which helps the students for extended time. The required equipment aspect, obviously, I had to knock it down 1 point because it does require technology. So if you're at a school system that for whatever reason you don't have one-to-one technology, or you don't have a lot of students with cell phones or mobile devices, it could be a challenge in that aspect. And cost of use is going to be dinged 1 point as well, because after you save 20 assessments, you do have to pay a subscription fee. However, most school systems are willing to pay for that for their teachers. So overall, accessibility is going to get a 6 out of 8. The technical aspect, I thought was very, very good. You can embed it in several different ways. You can share it with your class web page. You can email it to your students. You can post it on Google Classroom. So it's easy to be able to find and function properly for your students. It does work with any operating system. So laptop, cell phone, Chromebook, whatever you're using. It is functional with most browsers. I haven't come into one yet. Our students have used everything from Google Chrome to Firefox to Internet Explorer, as well as Safari. You don't have to download any additional software or hardware to have it function. They do have an app that you can use on your phone, but most of the students will just use their computers in class for it. So for the technical aspect, we gave it an 8 out of 8. The mobile design I thought was great. Like I said, most of our students don't use it in the mobile aspect. They just use their cell phone or their Chromebooks for it. But it is very easy for them to use, and in my opinion, it's a great tool if a student is using their phone. There's no drop off. There's no functional difference. Really, it just is the design looks a little bit different, obviously, from a desktop to a mobile version, but it's just as efficient for a student to use it that way. There is no offline access for it, so that did get dinged because a student has to be on the internet to access it, which obviously is a problem if you're in a lower socioeconomic school system where some students may not have internet at home, or if you are planning to use it that day at school and the internet is not functioning properly. All right, privacy data and protection. Signing up doesn't require a creation of external account. It's easy. You can use your Gmail. You can use your school email, however you want to use it in that aspect. When you create your intellectual property or data on there, so you're creating a test or a quiz showing you on there, I made mine public so other people can pull for it, but you can make it private to where you don't want it to be accessible to other people, so you can keep your data private. Archiving, saving, and exporting data, there are some limitations to it. There is a limit to it. Once you do reach your 20 tests, there is going to be a limit to being able to save the data from the report, like we talked about with the subscription. So overall, we'll give it a 5 out of 6 for privacy, data, protection, and rights. The social presence scored very, very high. Collaboration, it is great to be able to collaborate with it because you can work on tests with each other. You can have certain teachers create certain questions. You can steal from each other. You can combine assessments. You can compare the data. So it's great in that aspect. User accountability, it's awesome because teachers can hold their students accountable for their actions. They can do it online. They can use it in class. They can do it at home. All right. The diffusion aspect, it's very widely known. Like I said, I'm one of the only teachers that had not used it all the time in my school. So it's well known throughout the teaching community and is probably going to continue to grow. So for social presence, we gave it a 6 out of 6. For the teaching presence, the tool can significantly improve the ability to be present with learners because of the certain aspects it has with it for creating assessments. It saves teachers a lot of time and improves the quality of assessments that they are creating. The customization of being able to integrate direct PowerPoints or reading passages and then stealing questions or using artificial intelligence to create more questions is wonderful as well. And to me, the basic aspect is the analytics of how well you're able to pull data from it and to be able to modify your teaching off that. So for teaching, we're going to give it a 6 out of 6. The cognitive presence, the tool is going to certainly enhance the cognitive tasks for a teacher. It allows students to work at their own pace or at the pace of the teacher, which I think is extremely beneficial. So you do allow students to work on a timer if you're doing it in class, or you can have no timer as well. The higher order thinking is going to be dependent on the skill that's being taught or reinforced. So you can add higher level thinking questions on it. You can make whatever kind of questions you want, but most of the questions are going to be fairly basic. And the engagement aspect for providing feedback, I think it's huge to have students understand where they are and what they're scoring, and quizzes certainly gives you that as well. But for overall, we're going to give that 5 out of 6. So that is my new tech tool quizzes. It's been great, and I'm excited to continue to learn about it further. Thank you.